I remember the day Marcus and I first met in the cramped dorm lounge. His face lit by the glow of a late-night novel, mine by the flicker of a half-finished article. We bonded over coffee-stained desks and shared dreams of changing the world with words. Back then, ambition felt like an open highway, our friendship, the perfect co-pilot. Over the years, I watched Marcus carve his path as a freelance writer. He chased human interest pieces while I chased headlines. We celebrated each other's bylines at cheap pizzerias, toasting to the promise of next time, even on nights our pitches were rejected. Loyalty between us was assumed, never tested. When the Meridian Tribune offered me an editor's seat to lead an expose on illicit offshore accounts, I was elated, and a little scared. Marcus offered to help fact-check and copy-edit. I handed him my draft, trusting him the way you trust your own instincts. I pictured us celebrating byline by byline, side by side. I won't lie, part of me wondered if I owed him more credit. Head sweat over my sources and wrestled with my prose until it shone. But every time I hesitated, he brushed me off. You earned that spot, head say, I'm just here to help. His humility felt genuine. Then came the dawn of publication. My phone buzzed with congratulations, dozens of unread messages, until one notification stopped my world. The Tribune's site had posted the investigation under Marcus' name. I stared at the headline, my words, my digging, attributed to someone I thought would never turn on me. Shock gave way to a hollow ache in my chest. I dialed his number, hoping for a glitch, a misunderstanding. His voice answered, calm and too bright. He half apologized, blamed an editorial mix-up. But when I heard excitement creeping into his tone, I realized it wasn't a mistake. Walking the silent hallways of the Tribune, I felt the weight of every deadline it ever met, every source it protected. Betrayal dragged through me like a tide. When I confronted Marcus outside the building, his shoulders sagged, confession tumbling out. Envy had led him to steal my story, to anchor himself in my wake. In the weeks that followed, grief was my constant companion. I replayed every conversation, every draft it shared. How could I have been so blind? Sleep eluded me as I wrestled with doubt, asking myself if ambition inevitably poisons loyalty. Then a fierce determination rose from those ashes. I withdrew the article, locked away my notes, and began again, this time with new urgency. I retraced every lead, re-interviewed sources, fortified my evidence with layers of verification. It was painstaking, exhausting work, but each keystroke felt like reclaiming a piece of my shattered trust. As I rebuilt the investigation, an unexpected thing happened. People came forward. Whistleblowers who had been silent before saw my persistence as a promise. Colleagues offered data dumps and legal contacts. Even competitors whispered congratulations as they shared tips. In seeking to silence me, Marcus had inadvertently amplified my cause. When my expose finally ran under my byline, it was more powerful than the first version. Deeper, richer, unassailable. Traffic surged, regulators opened probes, and the corrupt network it uncovered began to unravel. It thought Marcus' theft would ruin me, but instead it forged me into someone stronger than I'd ever been. Months later, Marcus reached out to apologize. His email was brief: regret, remorse, a hope for forgiveness. My heart tightened at the sight of his name. Over coffee in a quiet cafe, he confessed to the same fears I'd once shared: the terror of feeling invisible, the lure of instant recognition. I listened, my emotions tangled between compassion and caution. I realized that forgiveness didn't require forgetting. I told him I would always value our history, but that trust, once fractured, needed time and boundaries to heal. He nodded, gratitude and shame mingling in his eyes. We parted that day with a quieter bond, no promises of unbreakable loyalty, but a mutual respect forged in honesty. In the years since, I've built new networks anchored in transparency. I mentor young journalists on securing their work, watermarking drafts, using encrypted platforms, insisting on clear byline policies. I champion collaborative tools that log every contribution, so no one can claim another's research as their own. I travel to journalism schools now, sharing my story as both cautionary tale and testament to resilience. Students lean forward when I describe the moment I saw Marcus' name above mine, and even more when I reveal how I clawed my way back. I tell them success tastes sweetest when it's earned, not stolen. Sometimes, late at night before hitting publish, I feel that old pang of vulnerability, the fear that someone might seize my words. But then I remind myself, every line on that page is born of my own conviction. My narrative voice carries the echoes of betrayal, yes, but also the unbreakable promise to stand by my truth. Today, I lead a team of investigative reporters who understand that integrity is non-negotiable. We've uncovered environmental crimes, political corruption, and corporate fraud, all while upholding the standards that once saved me from doubt. Our bylines shine side by side, a testament to collective credit and individual ownership. In quieter moments, I look back at the girl who trusted too freely and forward to the woman who learned that trust, once fractured, can be reforged into steel. Marcus' betrayal remains a scar, one I carry not as a burden but as a reminder that betrayal can spark transformation. And so I keep writing. Every exposé I publish, every lecture I give, every mentee I guide, bears the imprint of that lesson, that the cost of truth is high, but the price of betrayal is far higher. In owning my story, I ensure that no one can ever steal my voice again.